So if you try and imagine a world in which bioelectricity is not critical to what you're saying, that there's an alien civilization that somehow is transcending just basic chemistry to be able to propagate itself, what else could there be?
Wow. Well, now you're asking me to compete with the science fiction of many decades, which I certainly wouldn't try to do. But okay, we can try it. Let's just ask ourselves, what do we think the bioelectricity is really letting us do here in biology? One of the things that I think it's letting us do is scale up tiny homeostatic loop. So I think the primitive atom of all of this stuff is the most basic homeostatic loop. And what I mean by homeostatic loop is something that your thermostat does, which is take a measurement of something, compare it to a very simple memory that it has of whether it's right or wrong, and then take action to try and get closer. If the measurement is not right, get close, right? So your thermostat will heat or cool depending on where you are relative to the set point. Okay. Now, this is part of why I don't spend too much time talking about the origin of life, because you have to have gotten to the point where you even have homeostatic loops. And I don't have a lot of great ideas about how you got there. That's, I'm going to leave that for other people to work on that. But these homeostatic loops are already there in simple chemical systems. For sure, they're there by the time you get to bacteria. So we're pretty well back. Okay. So what the bioelectricity allows you to do is to take these homeostatic loops and connect them together so that whereas individual loops are, now to me, once you have a homeostatic loop, you are a goal-seeking system. So your thermostat, and I know some people are gonna hate this kind of talk, but I'm gonna say it because I think there's no way around it. Your thermostat has a little tiny nano preference about what the temperature should be. Okay, it has a true preference, same as you do, just really tiny and really simple. And that preference is that the temperature has to be in such and such a range. That is a very simple number. It's only measured right at wherever the thermometer, thermocouple happens to be. So the goal that this thing is pursuing is tiny. It's physically very small. Bacteria are the same way. They are, if you get a bacterium that is trying to climb up a sugar concentration, it's measuring the concentration of sugar and it wants more. That's it. And that's all it can do. These are really humble little tiny goals. What bioelectricity allows you to do is to take a bunch of cells that can do that and connect them into a network where the things that it measures, the set points, and the actions that it takes to implement that set point, all of these things become larger and larger. So once you have a bunch of cells connected with an electrical network, when every cell takes a measurement, it's not just a measurement of what's going on at that particular cell. It includes information from all the other electrically connected cells, which could be a huge tissue. So now what you're now measuring is something like the length of a finger, or the distance from the brain, or these massive quantities that don't exist for single cells, right? So it's a huge IQ boost by connecting electrically to other cells. You're becoming this much more complex creature that can measure giant things, that can store memories of things like, here's what the face is supposed to look like. No individual cell can remember that, but a huge network of a huge ectoderm tissue can. And so that connectivity, that electrical connectivity, allows you to scale your memory, to scale your IQ, to scale your goals, and to scale your stresses, the things that you could possibly be stressed by. Right. That's a real good mark of the agency or intellectual level of a system. Is what are the things that stress you out? Is it just the local level of sugar? And you're probably a bacterium. Is it is it the what the economical system is going to be like on Earth 100 years from now? You're probably a human. Is it and everywhere in between, right? What is the scale of things? So to get back to your question, right? So bioelectricity is not the only thing that can do that. So I suppose if I wanted to be, in sci-fi, and I'm sure people have done this, I could come up with some kind of a thing where these little homeostatic loops are some sort of, crazy exotic chemistry happening in a space cloud somewhere, and where the connections between them are magnetic fluxes and not electricity at all, or radiation, or I don't know what the hell they could be. It could be anything. As long as it allows you to scale the set points of your homeostatic system. So
in this set point, really, it sounds to me like you're describing, in order to be alive, you have to have memory in some way. You have to have something that allows you to say, memory, maybe that's not the right way to describe it, but is life Memory?
I'm going to agree with the second portion. I think memory is absolutely essential. I think if you don't have memory, you don't have any of the things that we're interested in when we talk about this stuff. I will say, with respect to the word life, it's one of the things I almost never really talk about because I'm not sure. I don't have a good definition for it. I'll leave that one to Lee and Sarah Walker and people who like actually talk about what life is. I have no clue. I don't know if it's a, you know, how you to most of the stuff that I work on, it's no, it doesn't carry a lot of water. It just doesn't do anything for us. We never ask whether things are alive or how. I'm not sure. I'm sure there are other reasons to have that concept. I'm much more interested in the concept of cognition. And if you asked me what the Venn diagram would look like between cognitive and living systems, I would say I'm not sure what life is, but I'm interested in cognitive systems, and a lot of them you might not say are alive because I'm sure a lot of them will not look living. They'll be either look like weird physics or computer software or something else that doesn't look alive to you. I just don't know what to do with the whole life label. I don't know what it does for us, but cognition, I do know what to do with. And that memory is absolutely bedrock for that. That is fundamental to cognition.